So I'm not out here saying ADD caused me and my husband to separate. I'm not saying my depression caused us. I believe there's a lot of things in him and in me that continued to create a disconnect. And I think when you create a disconnect in any relationship, there is now a space for something else that wasn't. And so if you literally imagine standing shoulder to shoulder, and then you're 2 steps apart and 10 steps apart, there's a space there. If you like visually think of it that way, and something's going to creep in, and it could be anything. It could be money, it could be drugs, it could be
right.
People, it could be relationships, it could be whatever. And it's like you leave room, you give the enemy room to work there. I think when you do that, you create that disconnect. And so I'm such an advocate for marriage now to say, don't be so prideful to think that you're bulletproof. Don't be so prideful to think that it's not going to happen to you and that you've got all your junk together. I think that it's very easy to complain about your spouse about certain things and not realize maybe you're not so easy to live with either. And so you contribute towards each other. It happens together. It's a 50-50 split. You're sharing it. And, one person's choices might have more obvious consequences, or I shouldn't say more obvious, like a certain decision might have a more impacting consequence, but ultimately you're still sharing in that. And so my husband, if you were interviewing him today, would say he made some choices that were not good either, and he would say that there was things in him that needed to change too. But neither one of you are in that place, in that mindset when you're wanting to own that. And it's like that disconnect happens, and then suddenly when I say the curtain was pulled out from underneath me, I had not been paying attention for years that there was a spiritual and an emotional and a physical realm, all three, in our marriage and in our life and in our home that was disconnecting and disconnecting and disconnecting. And then one day the bottom fell out, and the conversation, the words came out. I can't do this anymore. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
What? And so